husband, Doug, forcefully slapped his ex-girlfriend for flirting with another man. Allegedly struck the woman in the face so hard she spun around. Wow. So I wonder if Doug is going to get sued for $1 billion. Here, what looked like was going to be a nice date night. Turns out it was domestic violence, thanks to Doug. Kamala's husband, Doug, has a little bit of a bad past, and it's now coming to light. An exclusive from the Daily Mail says that husband Doug, the prospective first gentleman, forcefully slapped his ex-girlfriend for flirting with another man. Oh my gosh. In a booze-fueled assault after a date at a star-studded galley. Wow. And what's so funny about this is they're sending Doug all over the place to talk about misogyny. This is crazy. Kamala, her husband, assaulted his ex-girlfriend. 3 friends have told the Daily Mail. Oh no. The second gentleman, named Doug, allegedly struck the woman in the face so hard she spun around. Bah! Like in the movies, while waiting in a valet line late at night in May 2012 at the Cannes Film Festival in France. One of her friends told the Daily Mail that the woman called him immediately after the incident, sobbing. "You're not gonna believe what happened. Doug just gave me a backhand. I wasn't even doing anything." Daily Mail is not naming the woman, who is successful, but will refer to her by the student named Jane. Now, a second friend said Jane, who had been dating Emhoff for 3 months, also told her about the alleged violence at the time, corroborating witness. A third friend told the Daily Mail that Jane first told her in 2014 that she had dated Emhoff and recounted the full story of his alleged abuse in 2018. That's very curious because remember, the Bergdorf situation in the dressing room at Bergdorf's was a long time ago, and that's all fair game. So I wonder if Doug is going to get sued for $1 billion. Now, the friends, who all asked not to be named for fear of retaliation from Emhoff, shared with the Daily Mail pictures of him and Jane together from 2012 and other documents that corroborate other elements of the story. Here, what looked like was going to be a nice date night. Turns out it was domestic violence, thanks to Doug. And now he plays like he's this kind of a beta male, really. Now, the shocking claim follows revelations. Not that, hitting women is ever appropriate, but he's like ultra, like he would never do such a thing. And he would never encourage his nanny to get an abortion or anything like that. Like a totally different figure. Turns out he's kind of an abusive maniac. All 3 of Jane's friends said that she also told him about a disturbing incident during the relationship in which Emhoff, Doug, nonchalantly admitted to impregnating Naylor. Emmett told Jane that the nanny accused him of causing her to have a miscarriage. Now, according to friends, Doug did not say how he was allegedly responsible for the miscarriage. I don't know what happened. And he told Jane that the nanny's claims were false, but the second gentleman allegedly confessed to Jane that he said that Naylor, they gave her a settlement deal of $80,000 and had the nanny sign a non-disclosure agreement. Emhoff was previously dubbed by the Democrats as, quote, a wife guy and a mensch, a Yiddish term for honorable, kind man. And I don't know, not so fast about that. He has also spoken out in media interviews about being an ally to women and against toxic masculinity. We're all for people becoming reformed. I mean, you shouldn't be hitting women. And he is clearly somebody who, according to multiple people, has. Now, in a fawning interview on Sunday, Psaki told Emhoff, "How have you reshaped the perception of masculinity?" He says, "Well, I've always been like this. To me, it's the right thing to do, to support women, unless he pushes them down a flight of stairs so they have a miscarriage." These allegations strike to the heart of his benevolent image, which is fake, just like the rest of the campaign, promoted by the Harris presidential campaign. Now, Jane's friends says she was given tickets by wealthy friends to go to the Foundation for AIDS Research at the gala dinner, an elite charity auction filled with celebrities and Hollywood events near France. Oh, look who's there. It's Harvey Weinstein. The alleged incident took place after the two attended this event, here, pictured up above, where model Heidi Klum and now disgraced Weinstein were also there. Everybody's just beating everybody at this event. It's a Hollywood moguls beat their spouses event. Great. So they show up, and there it was. Attendees that year were Cara Delevingne, someone, actors Antonio Banderas, I know him, Alec Baldwin, that guy who shot a woman and killed a woman and shot another dude and got away with it, designer Karl Lagerfeld, Kristen Dunst, Paris Hilton was there, and now disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. It's like a group of just outstanding people there, right? Just awesome people. The friend said Jane brought her then boyfriend Emhoff a +1. One of Jane's friends is a top New York businessman, said that he was at home getting ready for bed that night. He got an unexpected call. It's hard to hear her because she was sobbing. She told me that she was with a guy and he hit her. Unreal. Now, it was very clear that she was telling me. She said she was with a guy, her date. She was at the Cannes Film Festival and he hit her. She was in the car with the guy at the time. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to call the fresh police. I couldn't get a hold of her after calling back. He said he still had a vivid memory of the troubling conversation from 12 years ago. In later conversations, but pretty contemporaneous with that, she told me more about the guy, he said. It was something like 3 a.m. They were trying to get out of there. They both had been drinking. There was like a gigantic line for taxis. Jane went up to one of the valet guys, offered him 100 euros or whatever to get to the head of the line. She told me she put her hand on his shoulder. You know, oh, you can help us, right? Like, you can help us just get out of here, please. Like, thank you so much. Just a nice little thing. Doug apparently thought she was flirting, came over and slapped her in the face. Ah! Don't you touch the valet driver. You're mine. American Express Travel looks like travel arrangements for Doug Emhoff. This itinerary is a reservation only. Scandinavian Airlines. And so you can see flight info, record locator, travel arrangements for Doug, and some other emails. A copy of Jane and Doug's itinerary shows a layover from Newark to New Jersey to France. And here's another one from this person to this person. So it's probably from Doug to her. Oh no, this is written by Jane to one of her fellow attendees. Gives the location of the hotel in Nice, France, where they stayed. Hi, sweetie. We aren't staying at the Negresco because the rooms they still had available were uber expensive. However, I was able to book a room at the Concord, which is just a couple of blocks down the street. Google indicates 5-minute walk. See the attached PDF. The Negresco is at 37 Promenade, and the Concord is at this location. I've attached our itinerary. Unfortunately, we have to leave a day earlier than you so that Doug can be back in LA for his daughter's birthday. And does she still identify as a daughter? I don't know if that's true, if what the situation is there. But I've also attached our itinerary. Sounds like a nice woman. She's like, I guess we have to come back because Doug and his daughter, but I'm happy to do that. So that's fine. So she slapped him back. What? Whoa. Now, my impression is that we had a lot to drink. Is that he had a lot to drink. She was sobbing on the phone afterwards, but she wasn't slurring her words. She told me that she broke up with him that night. Good call. Don't want to be in a relationship with a domestic abuser. Now, a second friend, another female New York attorney, said that Jane also told her about the attack at the time, said it came out of nowhere. Now, I wonder if they're kind of New York people. You know, there's that claim. There was that claim where you could file civil claims against somebody. I think it may have expired. But they had dinner. She said Doug was very charming. It was lovely. Then I believe it was 2 to 3 a.m. It was still raging. She was wearing 4-inch heels and a 4-length gown. So it was time to depart, the lawyer said. She said there'd been no fight before he hit her. You would have thought it was this fairy tale trip. She put her hand on the valet's shoulders, and as she was talking to him, Doug comes up. She said he turned her around by her right shoulder, and she was completely caught off guard. He hauled up, slapped her so hard she spun around. She said she was in utter shock. She was furious. She slapped him on one side, and then on the other cheek with the other hand. Good for her. Self-defense. Now, the three friends said that as Jane tried to leave following the alleged assault, Emhoff forced his way into the cab with her. And do you think this is this dude's first time with this? You don't just walk up and backhand a woman in the middle of a valet line. All of a sudden, the car was there, and they were ushering her into the car. She said she wanted to go back to the hotel without him. Get out of here. But while she was shutting the door, he forced himself into the car, which she did not want. I think she asked him, what the F was that all about, Doug? In the car, and the only thing she could really get out of him was that he thought that she was hitting on the valet. She turned to me. She was so embarrassed. She couldn't believe that he is the person he is, and that it turned into this trailer trash moment. Alcohol does a lot of things. I mean, I've seen a lot of this. Now, it woke her up about the self-delusion she was having, explaining away the teacher story. She realized he was bad news, man. Bad news. This was the first time she saw his ugly side, and here's Jen. She's like, why are you such a champion of women? Here they are. And there's the family. And movie producer ex-wife Kirsten ended their 16-year marriage after she discovered the affair with the nanny. Oh, gosh. So they're walking around. Now, she said she called her other male businessman friend because she wanted Doug to see her on the phone, telling somebody. She felt that would afford her some protection. So they're on the phone now, and she's like, hey, this dude just backhanded me. He's like, oh, crap. The third friend, a female top company executive, said Jane told her the story, too. This case is way stronger than anything that was ever brought against Trump by a million miles. I don't know if it was an aggressive slap or a punch, but it was something that I know she would never forget, and something that would end a relationship immediately. Good. Now, she had never been hit in her life. Jane is a gorgeous, strong woman, and you would never expect somebody to hit her. The executive said Jane told her that Emhoff was unapologetic about the abuse. the next day. Wow, what a narcissist. When he hit her, she hit him back. Like, don't you ever do that again, she said. Good. I asked her, did he ever apologize? She said no, but he commented about the hit she gave him. It was a tennis metaphor, but no apology at all. He was a tennis fan, said the female attorney. All he said to her was, don't worry about it. You got one across the court and down the line. What a lunatic. So he hits a woman for no reason in the middle of a valet line. He wasn't being attacked by her or something like that. And then he just chalks it up like it's an old sporting match. The executive said Jane believed Emhoff meant that now they were even. What a psycho. She said it was hurtful at the time, but she didn't want to feel like a victim. Now, the friend said Emhoff ended the trip early and to return to LA for his daughter's birthday, and that he and Jane never saw each other again. A copy of Jane and Emhoff's itinerary was shared, which we looked at. Their return flight from Milan, Italy, was originally scheduled for May 29th, but a May 17th email written by Jane to one of her other friends gives the location of the hotel in Nice, thanks for the correction, the couple stayed at, and said that we have to leave a day early so Doug can go home. Now, the executive said that Jane described how Emhoff love-bombed her from their first date after connecting on Match.com, quickly throwing himself into an intimate relationship with Jane and giving her the impression that he wanted to marry her before he beat her. And when Daily Mail approached Naylor, let's see who's going on here. Daily Mail previously spoke with Emhoff's first marriage to wife Kirsten Emhoff on the right when he got the children's nanny, Najine Naylor, left pregnant. So Doug's married to this woman, and the nanny has like a close resemblance to the wife. All right, that's a concern right there. They look like sisters, related. So the nanny comes in, looks exactly like the wife. Maybe he just got confused. So I don't know. This is strange. I don't know. We're weird. This is weird. It's weird, right? It's like a younger version of her. All right, it's just weird. All right. So anyways, got her pregnant. When Daily Mail approached Naylor, apparently this is Naylor here, says about their relationship with Emhoff or the baby. She says, I'm kind of freaked out right now. All right, don't talk to me. She had met his parents, his kids. Wow. Before he beat her, he invited him, come meet my parents. Prior to this, he had been making comments about marriage with Jane. Now, the attorney Fred said that Jane told Emhoff that Emhoff had introduced her to his son, Cole, on their first date. Meet my family. Man, he's a clinger, huh? She went to a hotel bar to meet Doug after work. It was a typical Match.com date where you only commit to a drink. Is that the thing? They were there for an hour, and he told her his son was in the city walking around. I think he just started college. She had this huge outdoor space at her apartment, suggested they go to the apartment and order pizza. Oh. Jane said Cole, the son, started smoking, and Doug asked for one. The whole thing was weird. Doug liked her, so he incorporated Cole into the date. Can you mind if my son comes over here and we just start smoking some cigarettes or something? No. The story appears similar to Harris's description of how Emhoff quickly dived into his relationship with her. He's like, I love you, Kamala. I want to marry you. You want to meet my son? Here, let's have a cigarette. Don't raise your voice at me. Now, emailing her the morning after their first date with his availability for the next few months, Emhoff wrote to Kamala, he said, I'm too old to play games or hide the ball, according to Harris's book. I really like you, and I want to see if we can make this work. Harris wrote that Emhoff introduced her to his children after about 2 months, and they married in August. Jane's friend said that just weeks before her first date with Emhoff, he invited her to visit him in LA. Doug flew her out. She was there for a week. Wow, that's a nice image of Kamala there. Yeah. Stop Kavanaugh, right? Kavanaugh was abusing women, just like her husband. There's Doug. Now, he was interested in buying a new house. He put on a big show about how important it was for Jane to have some sort of say in the house. We're going to buy a house. I'm going to buy you a house. I love you. Emhoff was divorcing his wife, Kirsten, at the time, so just swinging on to the next one. And while Jane was visiting, he made a confession about the reason for the split. He's like, listen, I love you. Think you should know before we buy this house together, I needed to tell you this. She felt for some reason that his wife had the upper hand in the divorce, and she couldn't understand why that was. Why? She told me that they were driving, and she asked him. He told her, what does she have an upper hand for there, Doug? Like, why do you feel like you're on the outs here? He told her that he had gotten the kid's teacher pregnant, and that had been the cause for the divorce. She's like, what? You did? You cheated on your wife? The executive said that the nanny claimed, quote, he had been aggressive with her, shouting or whatever, to the degree that she lost the baby. All right, so he's like causing a miscarriage. He did it rather matter-of-factly, not apologizing or saying he screwed up, but just like it was any other conversation. Not, Doug said, he was telling this woman, Jane, not that I've got something to tell you. This isn't who I am or I'm embarrassed about it. There was no shame of regret from him. He did it matter-of-factly, not apologizing or saying he screwed up at all. But just like, yeah, I just got her pregnant. Sucks, man. Can you believe that? Yeah. No, I was married and everything. I've got kids with her, but yeah, man, I just got her pregnant. It's strange. And so they keep calling her Jane, but they gave us her photo. Does that make sense? So they gave us the photo of this woman. Daily Mail previously spoke with the first wife. Oh, that's the first wife. That's how we know who that is, not this second woman who got backhanded or beaten. So he did it rather matter-of-factly. Yeah, I got her pregnant. Totally sucks. Anyways, I'm dealing with it. The attorney friend said that Emhoff suggested that the nanny was making up the claims and that Jane wanted to believe him at the time. He's like, she made it up. I didn't do anything. I didn't force a miscarriage. Nothing happened. Jane said, well, I entertained what he was telling me, that the teacher wasn't really pregnant, that she was doing a shakedown or something like that. She's like, I really wanted to believe him. Sources told the Daily Mail that Naylor was Ella's nanny at the time she got pregnant. She was working as a teaching assistant and then a teacher. So she was also a teacher and a nanny. And is that her? Like, who is this person? LAPD records from Facebook. That's K. Emhoff on Instagram. Okay, so that's the first wife. Sources who were close to Naylor during 2008 and 9 told Daily Mail that Doug did get her pregnant and that she did not end up having the baby. One source, unconnected to Jane, told Daily Mail last month that Doug had some kind of financial settlement with Naylor, the nanny. Jane's businessman friend said Jane told him that Emhoff confessed to settling with the nanny for 80 grand and paid an NDA. The nanny believed that Doug caused the baby to be lost. Maybe it was just the lawyers making threats, but Doug had to pay her something like 80 grand. LAPD records obtained by the Daily Mail under California Public Records Act show the police were called to a house where Naylor was living at the time, that she was allegedly pregnant. The call out was given priority level 3. They called the PD life-threatening emergency. Lights and sirens are on. LAPD refused to give any information. The attorney friend said that Jane tried to put aside her misgivings about Doug after his confession about the nanny. She bought the flights for the event the week before he told her about the nanny. Wow. I wonder if she got, the insurance on those tickets. It was a serious red flag, but the trip was booked. She didn't get the insurance. He came to New York and they flew to Nice. The friend said that Jane thought nobody would care about her story until Harris's rise to power, and then Emhoff became the second gentleman, at which point she became afraid that he'll retaliate. But they said that they believed it was in the public interest to expose his hypocrisy. He's holding himself out to be something he's absolutely not, and that's bullcrap, said the female executive. I feel like people should know where their leaders are and who they are. Jane was always leaning Democratic, but I've always voted Democratic. If anything, I would like to tell a story on the other side, but this is the truth. He's a really bad guy. To hold him out as a supporter of women is just disgusting. Unfortunately, they've got a nut in Trump, and then you've got not a good choice on the other side. So people can make their own choice once they know, but I feel like transparency is the best disinfectant for bad behavior. And Doug didn't respond to any comments on that. So he's out there talking about how amazing he is and how much he loves women. Here's what Doug said. Sounds like
two guys who actually not only don't trust women, but are literally running on a platform of authoritarianism and misogyny. That literally should be their slogan, because that's what it is. So you want people who literally are outwardly misogynistic in their policies and the way they talk about women, or Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. It's completely binary.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, he's a sociopath, women beater, no doubt about it.